If you live in Louisiana, stop scrolling, because this could affect you, your children, and future generations to come. There's a massive industrial project being proposed right in our backyard called the Louisiana Clean Energy Complex.
In Louisiana, frustration is boiling over. Many Trump voters are now facing rising prices, job losses, and broken promises of prosperity. The MAGA dream is colliding with harsh economic reality. In this video, you'll hear real stories from Louisianans living through the fallout. Listen closely. The truth hits hard.
I'm standing at the site of Meta's new $10 billion data center in Richland Parish, Louisiana. It'll be the largest data center the company has ever built, about the size of Manhattan. The project is already bringing about big changes to this small town way of life here.
A lot of folks are on their own, and if they are on a very strict budget, they're going to have to adapt, and if they don't, they won't make it.
I don't know that gutting 2,500 acres of land just so we can mine data so that we can better market and sell people stuff, I feel like it's getting carried away.
Why are the data centers coming to the small rural towns? They're coming here to benefit themselves. They're not coming here with intentions on benefiting the community.
Our farmers around here really rely on the water system for irrigating their crops and stuff like that. They deplete the water system, that's going to be a big problem.
In a sense, it feels like, well, yeah, they come take advantage of us poor, dumb, rural folks,
So this data center is going to use about 3 times the energy that New Orleans uses in a year. I'm curious how, if electricity bills go up for people here, how that might impact them.
We're a poor area. It's a huge amount of people that have trouble paying their electric bill currently. There are people who don't own vehicles, they don't have health care. I just think about the people that I know that they won't be able to keep their lights on.
This is a large farming community here in Northeast Louisiana. We're giving our most valuable resource, which is farmland. I want to know, what is Meta doing to give back to the community?
There's a fear like, well, you know who's going to get what they need. It's going to be the people with the most money and the most power. Because all that happens when a place like this comes in is the rich, they just get richer.
So I wasn't going to go here, but I am. New Orleans, yesterday's prices is still today's prices. So we get nail tech, makeup artists, hairstylists, they all want to say yesterday's prices is yesterday's prices and steady increase. Well, right now we need a special. Because what's going on is the economy is in shambles. You have EMC nurses going on strike. You have ports shutting down because people are not able to live off of this income down here. In Los Angeles, McDonald's, $25 an hour.
The price of po' boys is so high right now in Louisiana that we're literally choosing to eat healthy instead. Like, if that ain't the sign of the times right now, that people in Louisiana are having to choose vegetables over carbs. I mean, we all know about shrinkflation, but what we got going on here is shrinkflation. My question is, when does the po' boy stop being the po' boy? Because that's the whole point of the po' boy, is it's for the poor boys. And just to put it into perspective, here in the lovely state of Louisiana, our minimum wage is still in the $7 range, okay? And so if you want to buy a po' boy now, you got to work for almost 3 hours if you're making minimum wage.
And we're not going to let these pigs come into our cities and beat us or shoot at us, crack our skulls, break up our protests. We're going to keep opting out our right to freedom because we have a right. That's
right. So, y'all, I'm at Jefferson Street right now. The people are upset because we cannot vote. We came here to vote. They only had 300 ballots for this one location. They ran out.
Yeah. Orleans was 1 hour done. They were out. So they were having everybody start again because I was
Yeah.
trying to vote.
So you see it here. They should have had way more than 300 ballots, guys.
Well, I'm going to put this out there and see who's with me. I think that something needs to be passed, something needs to be done, that anytime in the future that there's a government shutdown, on day 1 of the shutdown, all members of Congress, all members of Senate, and the president, all of them, they forfeit their pay until the government's reopened on day 1. Not suspend it. They're not going to get it back as back pay. If they shut the fucking government down, they lose their pay for the duration of the shutdown. None of the people that's losing their benefits is getting any back pay from this shit. we're still paying taxes.
Here in Louisiana, we're one of those FAFO and we don't deal with no BS. That's how we roll. We're those hold my beer and watch this shit. So you've been forewarned. If you are standing with breaking the law and not following the law and that's what you want to support, just know we don't care if we break the law.
Wait a minute. So you telling me the cost of living is rising day to day to day? The cost of mortgage and rent and food and clothes and water and all of that is steady rising. But one thing that ain't rising is minimum wage. I'm from the state of Louisiana, y'all, and our minimum wage hasn't changed in years. Y'all ready for this big old number that our minimum wage is set for our state? $7.25 is what the minimum wage is in the state of Louisiana. I know some of y'all say I'm country and I'm sound funny. Y'all can't understand what I'm saying, so I'm going to say it again. $7.25 is what the state of Louisiana has set for minimum wage. With the cost of everything going up, I do realize every state has a different cost of living. I understand. It costs you even more in certain states to even live. But y'all, think about it. Somebody who is set that makes $7.25 these days and time, y'all, they're going to have to use the government in order to survive. How much can you do with $7.25? Even after working 40 hours a week, what can you do with $7.25? Not much. So you're going to need the government to chip in the other half just for you to still be broke.
I need to say I'm sorry. I voted for him. I thought he was going to help folks like me. I really did. Now my SNAP's gone, my Medicaid's gone. They cut off my heat and help last week. I don't know how I'm supposed to buy groceries next month to keep the lights on. I ain't got no...
The fact that your situation, your life, has not gotten better. They do it so you won't notice that at the same time that they're helping the wealthiest, most powerful people in the country consolidate more wealth and more power, your bills are still going up.
We don't want to slash benefits. And again, I make this very clear. We are not cutting Medicaid. We are not cutting SNAP. We're working in the elements of fraud, waste, and abuse. SNAP, for example, listen to the statistics. In 2024, over $11 billion in SNAP payments were erroneous. I mean, that's a number that everyone acknowledges is real. It may be much higher than
Louisiana is like the second largest recipient of food
states,
stamps in the country, sir. So
let me explain it, Margaret. Let me explain it. The states are not properly administering this because they don't have enough skin in the game. So what we've done in the bill is add just a modest state sharing component so that they'll pay attention to that, so that we can reduce fraud. Why? Again, so that it is preserved for the people that need it the most.
They can't even have a Stop the Violence rally in Shreveport.
That's the main thing, and just making it happen.
You know what I mean? Whoa. And that's what I'm talking about right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about right there. See, y'all, now is we still rolling? Let's roll. See, this is what I'm talking about while we are out here doing the Stop the Violence. That's how come it's important, how prudent it is. Already we've got 3 or 4 or 5 shots that has went off, and we don't know how many people have been hit. We got cars that's flying down, and people are shooting. We got another car that just turned the corner real fast, and now he's going back, and now something else is about to happen because they're shooting at each other. All of a sudden now, all this is going on while we're in the midst of a Stop the Violence. That's why it's important. It's important that we come together, brothers and sisters, and we come together and bring prayer back into our streets. We come together and we learn how to get along with one another. We come together to put the guns down. The guns are killing. The people with the guns are killing. We need to stop this. It's getting worse. In the midst of us doing the Stop the Violence, we just been encountered and we're witnessing it. We don't know what cause or who it is, but we're witnessing that has been about 6 or 7 shots had rung out. While we're in the midst of a Stop the Violence, the devil is busy. He don't want you.
Making sure that government may be shut down, but essential workers will still be there to make sure those checks are sent out. If you're hungry and you don't have the money to eat, we're not going to let you starve to death. The administration is going to continue payments. We call it, some people call it SNAP. I call it food stamps. And we will continue the payments for the women, infants, and children's program. Most of us refer that to WIC.
So, hey, I've got some fucking beef with this motherfucker. When asked how he feels about this jet being delivered to Donald Trump personally, people of Louisiana, you deserve better. You deserve better than this. When asked about this fucking jet that's being delivered personally to the president, he said, well, what about the Statue of Liberty? Huh? Motherfucker. The Statue of Liberty was approved by Congress, and it was a gift from the people of France to the people of the United States of America. Okay, it wasn't gifted to the president personally for his personal use. He didn't turn it into a fucking condo when he left office. Okay? And then he says, well, I don't know. I don't know the law. You must think that we are dumb. Louisiana, seriously, y'all ain't this dumb.
Across Louisiana's towns and bayous, the mood is shifting. Families who once stood firmly behind MAGA are now questioning what went wrong. As bills rise and paychecks shrink, many are realizing the promises of economic revival were never meant for them.
Listen, what just happened in the New Orleans mayor's race should be a state of emergency for all Black communities. For the first time in a long time in the state of Louisiana, every major parish has a white mayor. Let that sink in. I'll wait. I'm going to tell you like this. This isn't just by coincidence. This is a consequence of our own self. Consequences of that division y'all like to participate in. Consequences in y'all ego. Consequences in believing that splitting the vote won't cost us everything when it costs us everything.
I don't think I needed any more help with hating the state of Louisiana. But as of today, every public school in the state of Louisiana, we're the first state in the United States that will require every classroom to have the 10 Commandments hanging up. In a public school, the 10 Commandments. After just a year or two ago requiring the In God We Trust signs in every classroom. And now the 10 Commandments?
Okay, so yesterday I made a video, talking about how I wish something would happen in the future where everybody in the Senate, the Congress, and even the president loses their pay if a government shutdown happens. And comments have been blowing up. And for the most part, I agree with everybody. All right. Video wasn't a knock on President Trump. I love my president. Right. I know that he donates his salary. He works for free. I know that. But the point of the video was there's no consequences for any of these politicians. None of them.
So I don't know if this is an Aquarius thing or this is just the fact that I live in New Orleans. It's probably a combination of both. I always have conflicted thoughts. Like, some days I'm good, some days I'm not. But the days I'm not good, I'm really not good. I cannot stand the fact that the cost of living in this state is just unfucking believable. Not just the cost of living, like just the living lifestyle. The lifestyle we don't have. This city just... I want to put into words, so I'm trying to break it down so people can understand. Because, sometimes you think things, but it don't come out the way you want to say it for other people to understand what you're talking about. The southern states are extremely poor. Extremely poor. The cost of living is extremely high, and they don't pay the people enough to survive. I mean, I know it's going on all across the world, with the inflation and all of that, but y'all don't understand how bad it is in these southern states. These people, it's like we're in slavery.
It is so hard to get out. People don't realize when you don't put any money into education, into infrastructure, I mean, what is there left? And where are you gonna go? We had so much promise. I still see like what could have been, but they wanted to, instead of investing money into the community after Katrina, after any of the bad storms, they wanted to sell real estate to make money. That's it.
That comment right there, that's the one. Because y'all know the casinos, Texas doesn't have casinos like we have casinos. And so a lot of people from Houston, San Antonio, like they drive in on the weekends regularly. I used to work at y'all know I'm wearing 550 million different hats, right? And I worked in marketing at, it's Horseshoe now. It used to be Ala Capri. Baby, when I tell you our regulars, the people that were there the most often were people from Texas, and a lot of them were immigrants. And I mean, I get it. Like, the casino's a good time if you like to spend money. Even if you don't like to spend money, the restaurants are good. The music, they have live bands all the time. Y'all know they have the concerts, the comedy shows. And if you are one of the people that spends money, like, you get tickets to all of that stuff for free. So they stayed, casinos, the flow stayed packed, okay? And if they start targeting casinos, but it's ass backwards, to be honest, because one, you're coming after people that have done nothing wrong to anybody, right? You said, oh, they're only going to go after criminals, they're only going to go after bad people. Half of these people just be minding their business. This day weekend break from their job, this day family vacation, whatever, right? Number two, what do you think is going to happen to our economy?
Some of these people fail to realize, down in Alabama who's broke, down in Louisiana who's broke. I can go through pretty much the entire South and tell you that they're broke, and they relied on a lot of welfare from the government. To be perfectly honest, it is tax dollars from these big blue states like New York. Yeah, they send a lot of money into taxes, and then broke states end up benefiting from it, and now they're about to find out. So we're in the find out phase.
The great economic boom that's going on right now, I literally hot off the press. It's a great one. Hot off the press. Louisiana right now currently has over 100,000 new job opportunities. 100,000 new job opportunities. And which means that per capita, the state of Louisiana is leading the country in job opportunities. So my message to able-bodied people, okay, who may not be employed, but who have been utilizing this program, that you should go out and search for one of those jobs. And you can go to our workforce. I know we got a workforce website. You can go and you can access information there. So I would encourage you to do that. I would also encourage able-bodied people to start to lean in on food banks.
As someone born and raised in Louisiana, I can say we have not seen anything like our new governor, Jeff Landry, in a real long time, and that's saying a lot. As Attorney General, he really made his disdain for women's bodily autonomy very, very clear. Essentially said that the women of this majority female state who were not digging the assault on our reproductive health care and bodily autonomy could simply move. And when I wrote my article for Essence Magazine, it was really my attempt in trying to begin to sound the alarm on who this man was and how his election affects literally everyone across the country. The South is a litmus test for what will eventually be practiced around the country. What happens to us affects everyone. He was only elected with less than 20% of the state's eligible voters, but in 6 months, and with a GOP supermajority, he has eliminated parole. He has bankrupted every domestic violence shelter in the state. He has defied the Supreme Court and mandated the display of the Ten Commandments in every single public school in the state. He has been engaging in collective punishment upon the city of New Orleans.
You live in Louisiana and you're like, am I going to have to start selling ass to pay electric bill? What Louisiana allows is authorized territories to these utility companies. Public Service Commissioner, 5 of them total. That position is an elected position. What happens when you elect somebody? You gotta go through a campaign. What happens during a campaign? Give donations. In typical Louisiana fashion, it's one of the only fucking states that allows lobbying. Cute, right? These commissioners, they're the one these utility companies have to answer to. Your council can give suggestions, but the commissioner is the one who has to regulate utility companies' service, rates, quality. The commissioner is the one who gives a certificate for them to service certain territory. And that utility company is dumping thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, the decision's quite simple. Of all the fucking states of the union, Louisiana is the only state that has the most lenient laws regarding public service commissioner.
If you live in Louisiana, stop scrolling, because this could affect you, your children, and future generations to come. There's a massive industrial project being proposed right in our backyard called the Louisiana Clean Energy Complex. It's being proposed as a clean energy and carbon capture project. But this project is leaving me and several of our other citizens here in Louisiana very concerned for the safety of our land, our water, and our air. This project is being run by a company called Air Products, and they plan to run a pipeline and inject millions of tons of CO2 underground in and around Lake Maurepas. They say it's a way to reduce emissions and help fight climate change, but there's more to the story. Air Products will receive billions in federal tax credits for storing that CO2 underground, even if the long-term safety and effectiveness isn't fully proven. So, they get the financial reward while our communities take on the risks. If that carbon leaks, it can rise up through old oil wells or cracks in the rock affecting our air and water. If one of those CO2 pipelines were to rupture, and it has in Mississippi, here's a photo. It can displace oxygen and kill human beings and wildlife in seconds. And let's not forget that CO2 is colorless and odorless. So you're just out of luck there.
What's happening in Louisiana is more than an economic downturn. It's a wake-up call. Families are struggling, communities are breaking, and the promise of prosperity has turned into a fight to survive. These stories reveal the truth behind the slogans and remind us that real change starts with accountability and understanding. Every voice, every hardship matters in shaping America's future. If this message speaks to you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to keep these stories alive. And click the video on your screen to see how this movement is unfolding across the country.